Hey, Facebook family, how are you today? It is actually Tuesday. Um, it's really funny. A lot of my friends they like to go to a little taco place down here, so they call it Taco Tuesday, right? Um, I actually have men's Bible study tonight, and so today I told a lot of people last year that the best book I read by Dr. Maxwell was The 15 Laws of Growth. So I've decided to touch on a little bit of that. The Lord led me to start sharing a little bit of depth stuff from this. And what I wanted to encourage you guys is that whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I hope that you guys will invest in how important personal development is for yourself. It's made me a massively different person, not just a little bit, significant. Hey Carrie, hey Nancy. And so, I hope that you guys will share this because people need to hear these type of things. It's amazing the stats of people that are vibrant, influential, good-looking, smart, intelligent people, and they never progress because when they look in the mirror, they don't see the person that God sees them as at all. They see them as the world sees them, whether it's a bad relationship or a loss of a loved one or whatever that may be. That's how they see themselves. And when they see themselves from the world's perspective or from their husband's perspective or from, whatever perspective they see themselves from is kind of what they see when they look in the mirror. And if this third law of growth that Dr. Maxwell talks about is this law of the mirror. And I put on there self-esteem. And the reason I put this self-esteem on there was because a lot of times people have that low self-esteem. Dennis Waitley said this. He said, personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. And in this third law of the mirror that Dr. Maxwell wrote, I'm not a person that really struggled with a lot of low self-esteem in my life. But as I said, I've seen a lot of people that have low self-esteem that are, like I said, that are good-looking people. And Dr. Maxwell gives us these 10 suggestions, right, of improving your self-image and kickstarting your personal growth. So if you have time and you're on here, if you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay and take some notes, guys. Take some notes. Take some time to let this be a part of your personal development, right? And so the first personal growth habit that he talked about by improving your self image was guarding against your self-talk. Like, how do you talk to yourself? Oh, I'm a failure. Oh, I'm no good at this. Are you encouraging or do you constantly talk negatively about yourself? According to Dr. Maxwell, he says we are conditioned as kids when we're growing up to speak negatively to ourselves, especially if you lived in a family where, obviously my father is not the same person anymore, but anything that I did a lot of times was never really good about. I was a great athlete, but I was never just good enough. And so Dr. Maxwell cites one study that says by the time we're 17 years old, we will have heard no an average 150,000 times. And the word yes, 5,000 times. In order to reverse all these years of negative talk, Dr. Maxwell recommends that by becoming your own encourager, you can erase a lot of this stuff that's happened in your childhood, right? When you make mistakes, remind yourself, it's just part of growth. It's not something that I'm bound to. I'm not stuck to this type of person. And I'm that biggest person. Like last year, had this worst year of just connecting with the wrong people, getting taken advantage of by entrepreneurs and people who are where you guys would see them as successful people, but behind the scenes, they weren't real successful. And I began to beat myself up about this. And I learned that you can't do that. Number 2, Dr. Maxwell said, stop comparing yourself to others. I've learned to find my identity in who God sees I am. And Dr. Maxwell says comparisons are extremely detrimental to our growth. that if we compare ourselves to others, we'll never grow. Most of the time we come up on the losing end when we compare ourselves, and then it terribly hurts our self-esteem. All right. So to increase your self-esteem, maximize your growth, stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, try to do better today than you did yesterday. I love that, right? So number 3, move beyond your limiting beliefs. My wife was just listening to a recording about from Brendan Bouchard about limiting beliefs. Charles Schwab said, when a man has put a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what we can do. Wow. Think about that. There are a million quotes out there, right? The power of believing in yourself. But the bottom line is most of us are capable of far more than we give ourselves credit for. God says he'll give us exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or seek, right? Jack Canfield, all the chicken soup for your soul, right? He says, here are 4 steps to turning your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs, right? Number 1, he says, identify limiting beliefs you want to change. You know, I'm always going to be this way. I'm not good at sales. Change that. I'm giving you some things that I'm changing, right? Determine how the belief limits you. What are you believing that's limiting you? I'm only going to be this successful. I'm never going to lose weight. The third one is decide how you want to be, act, or feel. It's a choice. It's a decision. Guys, I believe we can eliminate depression if we decided to see ourselves as God sees us and just move forward. Step out from that spirit of depression, right? Create a turnaround statement that affirms or gives you permission to be, act, and feel this way. Write it out. This is my brand. He, being God, influences me to influence others. I always say this, my wisdom, against no disrespect to any other life coaches or personal health coaches or business and relationship coaches, what I do is 25 years of experience of working in the fitness and nutrition industry at the very top 1% of the industry, over 30 plus certifications, working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different people, going through and working with counselors, all this stuff. And I still develop these limiting beliefs. No more. I've not done that. I know that God's wisdom and my wisdom makes me one of the best in my industry, creates me a blue ocean. So you have to think about that. Number 4, Dr. Maxwell says, add values to others. Always be encouraging to others. Change that. Number 5, do the right thing even when it's hard. Telling half-truths is something that a lot of people do. They exaggerate stories to try to get people to believe in them. Guys, stop doing that. I did that as a kid. It ruined tons and tons of relationships. Practice a small discipline. Number 6, practice a small discipline daily in a specific area of your life. I'm reading books on sales. I'm reading books on influence. I'm reading books of how to work on some of the things that I'm not great at, but I'm still focusing on the things that I'm good at. Number 7, celebrate small victories. There's been a lot of great victories in here. I believe that this month is going to be massive breakthrough for us in a lot of different areas. And so we're going to celebrate those. We're going to celebrate them as they come. Number 8, this is the last 3. Embrace a positive vision for your life based on what you value. Set core values that are non-negotiable. Ours are love, humility, honesty, integrity, right? You got to set yourself up so that people know what you value. A vision encourages you to take action. Taking action helps you believe in yourself, and believing in yourself helps you take more action. Once you get started, it's a never-ending cycle. Number 9, practice the one-word strategy. And I love what Dr. Maxwell said. He said he got this idea from an author named Kevin Hall. And he said, here's how Hall describes this practice. The first thing I do when I'm coaching someone who aspires to stretch, grow, and go and take themselves to a higher level in life is to have that person select one word that best describes him or her. I challenge you guys to do that today. Once that person does that, it's as if he or she has turned the page in a book highlighted one word, instead of seeing 300 different words on the page, the person's attention and intention is focused immediately on that single word, that single gift. What that individual's focus on then begins to expand. Okay? Choose that one word that describes you. Put it in the comments down here. If you're watching this on the replay, choose that one word that you would like to describe you, and then start making that happen. Number 10, take responsibility for your life. I'm going to finish with this. Dr. Maxwell says, we get in life what we're willing to tolerate. If we tolerate disrespect, abuse, people taking advantage of us, that's what we'll constantly get. And I learned that the hard way. As kids, we often have no choice but to accept what our parents or teachers, coaches, and others adults say. But as adults, we take our own responsibilities. If there are people or situations in your life that are negatively affecting your self-esteem, get rid of them today. Start today, guys. Lisa and I have done that. Your self-esteem is in your own hands. In order to maximize your growth, or to even reach your potential, you have to believe that you matter. Guys, I'm going to post a video in here so that you guys can realize how much you truly matter. If self-esteem is a problem for you, Dr. Maxwell says this: your life can change and you can make a difference no matter what kind of background you have or where you came from. Guys, hopefully this encouraged you today to go out and make some changes in where you are in that thought process. Look, I'll do these if one person watches, because I believe that this is important. I believe that you are called to greatness, and if you don't understand that, you have the availability to do that. So as I said, if you're watching this on the replay, go back and take some notes and write these things down and implement it. Guys, it's not a coincidence that you were listening to this today. If you truly, truly, truly believe that you were created for greatness, maybe you have a little bit of self-esteem, maybe you have a lot, maybe you have none. Just find that one word that describes you, put it in the comments, and then go and be all who God called you to be. I love you guys. Thanks for those of you that have listened. I've been super encouraged. I just encouraged myself. I'm going to go back and listen to this again myself and learn and grow from it, because we all need it. The third law of John Maxwell's 15 Law of Growth. Guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Love you.